Welcome, thanks for joining us. If you're interested in buying a portable high output generator, then stick around because today we're going to be checking out the PT3200i, the GT2500ESi and the all new Honda EU32. We're not here to tell you which is the best generator, we're here to give you the best information so that you can make the right decision for you. Now let's talk weight. The PT3200 is 22 kgs. The GT2500, pretty darn close at 21.5 kgs. Now it's a bit of a jump up to the Honda where it's at 26.5 kgs. Now just thinking about that, that's dry weight. So by the time we put 4 or 5 litres of fuel in each of these machines, the Honda is going to be close to 30 kgs of weight. That may or may not be a problem for you. Price, this is where it gets interesting. PT3200 comes in at 1195 plus GST. The GT2500, 1495 plus GST. Moving over to the Honda, we're looking at $4,346 plus GST. It's a bit of a jump. So to put that in perspective, we can almost get 3 of the Powertecs for the price of the Honda. Whether the Honda's worth that or not, I'll leave that up to you to decide. Runtime was a bit of an interesting one to work out. So each petrol tank is a different size, but in doing the maths, they're all pretty close on petrol in to power out or runtime. So no real winners there. Now let's talk warranty. The Powertec has a 1-year warranty, the GT 4-year domestic, 2-year commercial, and the Honda 4-year domestic, 2-year commercial as well. So again, thinking that the GT is half the price of the Honda or less and has exactly the same warranty. That's interesting. Honda have a fantastic network around the country and have got backup and support. Equally so do the importers of the GT and the Powertec. They have service agents all around the country and they have a huge warehouse full of parts. Let's talk about starting and stopping mechanisms. The Powertec is pull start. I think that's fair for the price you're paying. The Honda's also pull start, whereas the GT has an electric start. On the front you can see there's a start button, and on the side we've got a push button remote that can be used from a distance. You can be inside your caravan, it's a cold rainy night, push the button, your GT roars into life. Great tool. The thing I'd say with the Honda, it does have a Bluetooth app, and yes, on the Bluetooth app you can see the wattage, that's pretty neat, you can see the fuel usage, and you can remote turn off the generator. But again, thinking about those cold rainy nights, or you're inside, it's freezing in the morning, you can stay in bed. With the GT you can push the start button and it comes to life. All 3 machines have 2 15 amp outlets on the front. All 3 machines have parallel operation. One interesting thing with the Honda though, if you have an EU32, you need to run it with another EU32. You can't run it with an EU22, that's the Honda specifications. Whereas some of the other machines on the market, actually you can match them with a 4,000 watt machine or a 5,000 watt machine as long as it's inverter and as long as it's got that parallel port on the front, you're away in racing. So to summarise, bang for buck, PT3200, pretty darn awesome machine. For warranty, GT has it. We also have the electric start on the side and none of the other machines have that. Honda, hey, they're always a great machine. No one's saying the Honda's not a bad machine. I'm just comparing actual money costs compared to output, then it's pretty darn close between the 3. There was once a time when no one trusted anything but a Honda. I respect that, they were a good machine. But now the GT, the Powertecs, they've caught up and they may have even surpassed in some of the features. So now we'd like to do some decibel readings or volume readings. We're going to test the machines at 1 metre away with no load on them, and we're going to test them at 10 metres away with no load on them. Let's check out the volume differences. After that, we're going to plug in some fans which draw around 2400 watts each. I just want to see what volume difference that makes to the machines. Are they the same or is there a big gap in volume? So each manufacturer has given us a specification for decibel rating or volume for each machine. Now we like to do our own tests, so we bought our own decibel reader out, and again just so you can see, this is jumping up to around 70 decibels when I'm talking, so that gives you a basis of comparison for how loud these machines are going to be. If I stop talking, it goes down to around 45 decibels. So the ambient noise here, we've got a road maybe half a kilometre away, a few birds that have blessed us with their presence, they're making around 45 decibels of noise. So let's start up the machines and check out how they look. So as you can see, both the GT and the Honda were pretty darn close. So that was pretty interesting. The GT and the Honda were almost identical in volume there. The Powertec was just a little bit more, but from my perspective, it was pretty hard to tell the difference. Now let's try it again with a load on it and see how each machine performs. So now we've got our 2400 watt heater. Now this is probably slightly bigger than your average heater, but 2400 watts should make this machine work, and we'll get a really good indication of how much volume these are putting out, or decibels these are putting out under load. So let's start with the Powertec. So it was interesting. Again, each manufacturer had a rating on their machine. They gave us a set decibel or volume rating, but when we plugged that 2400 watt heater in, all three machines were almost identical. There was no difference in volume. So in idle mode, yes, there was a difference, and that difference was small, but we put them under load, volumes are exactly the same. So again, all three machines the same there. Now let's check out the Powertec. So again, we have two 15 amp outlets. We've also got a USB outlets on the front to charge the devices. And the cool thing about the PT3200 on the front here, it's got a clear indicator to show you how much of the capacity of the machine we've used. We also have a fuel meter on the side, so we don't need to be checking what's left in the tank. So now let's take a look at the GT. Like the Powertec, we have two 15 amp outlets. We have our parallel operation port on the front here. We have a 12 volt DC output for charging batteries, and we have our USB ports on the front here. Again, we have an eco mode to reduce the output of the machine for longer battery life. On the GT, we have our start button. So again, we can either push this to start, or we can use our remote sensor. Up the top here, we have what percentage of our output we've used. We have a digital meter to know when to service the machine and give us our voltage and wattage. So let's take a look at the Honda. Again, we've got our two 15 amp outlets, on and off control, pretty straightforward. It has an eco switch on the front here. So again, that's if you want to reduce the revs on the motor and make it last for longer, but it also reduces the output from the wattage side. Here's our parallel outputs, pretty straightforward machine. Again, it's got the Bluetooth app if you want to use that to see some of the stats or be able to turn the machine off remotely. Okay, let's do a bit of a summary. So thinking about price, PT3200, clear winner there. The warranty, both the Honda and the GT are exactly the same. Again though, when we're comparing pricing, the GT is a fraction of the price of the Honda. Looking at volume, again the GT and the Honda, with no load on them, they were both pretty similar, but once we put the 2400 watt heater on, all three machines were the same. For starting and stopping mechanisms, the GT has a clear advantage here with the remote start. For weight, again a very fine difference between the Powertec and the GT, but the GT takes that section. So for features, again, the Honda has the neat Bluetooth app, but the GT with the remote start is a clear winner. Again, that gives us the versatility to sit inside on a cold night and remote start the generator. So those are some of the characteristics, prices and features for you to consider. Again, it's up to you to make the decision, but I hope this helps you in that process. Thanks for watching.